Hey guys, it's me. I'm back, and I want to apologize to you all for not being around for a little while. This video is a return to form, and it's me making a promise to you that I won't disappear again. And it's also to really testify as to why I did and what's happened over the last month. I was getting into the exercise for a while beforehand, and I guess you could see a bit of change and whatever else, but it was in the last since I left for Perth and I came home again that I kind of just got out of the swing of making these videos, and then was doing more of the exercise stuff, and it just became more of my focus. In honesty, it became more of my focus, and I wasn't as concerned with making the videos or putting on weight or challenging this or challenging that. It wasn't important anymore. And I guess I found something that made me feel less shit, and started feeling better about myself, and that was all good. And then I started to lose weight, and then that dropped very quickly. I won't weigh myself because I'm doing this at night, and so there'd be no point now. And this is really something I wanted to do on a spur of the moment because I didn't want to overthink it and then just put it off. And I wanted to do this before Thursday. But yeah, I lost a lot of weight, and at the moment I'm 80 kilos, which is, with the muscle mass that I've got, which is a bit, it's obviously, if you're looking at maybe 78 kilos more of actual body weight without the muscle, which is a lot lower than what it should be. It's a good sort of 8 kilos than where I should be. And I've noticed the effects on my mood and my motivation, my general want to do things, my general demeanour, how engaged I am with people. I've noticed a real return to form, so to speak, in terms of how I used to be, and also just, the gauntness in my face, as you probably can see. I've look very thin-ish than I guess thinner than I did, and I'm really aware of that, aware of how healthy my hair is and things like that. And it really sparked I need to start eating more food if I'm going to do this exercise thing, and I don't want the exercise thing to become as obsessive as it is, and I don't know how to do or navigate that properly, and it really is a huge juggling act for me. And as much as people would like to think, if you just do this, or why don't you just do that, I think at the end of the day, I'm not wired a certain way. I'm not wired as someone who can just be casual and carefree. I kind of do stuff, or I don't do stuff. I'm kind of all in, or I'm not in at all. And that's a very all or nothing mentality, and it's not healthy, because really I should just be able to navigate in shades of grey. But I've always been like that ever since I was a kid, and it's not. I think it's a part of my personality that I'll always probably just have to deal with and have to sort of wrestle with from time to time. So part of me at one stage wanted to just stop exercising altogether, because I knew that it was getting completely messed up. And I wrestled with that for a few days while I was in Perth, and I didn't do any exercise, and that was really tough. But also noticed that sort of food-wise, things were getting a bit sketchy. But also just the lack of consistency in food was also a thing. But I just tried to do the best I could, and I think I did pretty well. But I actually considered not going to Perth in the first place because I couldn't exercise, and that's, for me, was just incredibly mental and insane, and just the idea of that was just ridiculous. And I guess that's kind of the final alarm bell for me, as I knew things were getting bad. But when that became a thing, I realised that shit needed to change, and so came back and wrestled with the idea of not exercising and going back to the all or nothing kind of thing, it being the latter, not the former. And I kind of got home and realised that I kind of like my body, and I want to try and keep at least on what I work for, in terms of I guess building up a physique that I was okay with. And you know what, as I've been conditioned to believe that being concentrated or being concerned with how you look is very eating disordered, and it is to an extent. The way that I think about it and the way that I associate it with it and the mentality that I have behind it, it is indeed very eating disordered, and my beliefs about my body are very distorted, and my beliefs about the way other people perceive me and what it means in the bigger picture is indeed very distorted. But at the same time, it is very normal to want to look a certain way or feel a certain way or just feel good. You know, we're creatures that push away negative feeling and welcome positive feeling, and we try and get that in any shape or form. And I guess I got a bit addicted to it again, you know, and I knew that would probably happen. And it is really juggling between the all or nothing, and I think it actually is harder for me to do it and not do it perfectly. It's to do it and just to do it casually. It's to do it and just go, yep, that's enough, cool, no worries, and not be, it needs to be this much, or I need to feel this kind of burn, or it needs to be this, I need to be this exhausted, or I need to do this, or I need to do it this many times, and I didn't do that right, so I need to go back and do it all again, and all that kind of shit, you know what? And that's where that needs to change. And for me to avoid that is helpful in the short term, but in the long run, I kind of want to do that thing, and if I'm going to engage in any kind of physical activity, I need to learn to do that. And part of me hates hearing that come from my mouth, because part of me thinks, yep, that's very true, and that's, in a perfect world, that would be the exact kind of mentality I need to do walking into this. But the other part of me knows that how easily I twist and turn that to serve my own purposes, and how easily I will distort that, and how easily I will buy into that little gem in order to serve an evil master, that being my eating disorder. So it's never easy, it's never simple, there's always a catch-22 in whatever way I seem to go. Whichever path I seem to take, there seems to be many avenues that branch off it, and I seem to get lost somewhere within the metropolis that is my mind, and when I finally find my way back to the street that I want to be on, I realise that now I'm sort of going the wrong way, I'm going backwards. So I've had to try and turn around, and again, still navigating the exercise thing. I still am at a lower weight, and I've, as of the end of last week, started to eat more. So I've started to eat more, which has been good, and you know, it was tough the first time, but obviously you just do it more and more. I know I want to put on weight, I know I want to sort of keep doing the exercise thing, but I want to try and make it less obsessive. And I've sort of done, you know, gone days where I just don't exercise, and that's been difficult, like rest days and stuff. And there'll be a point in the next couple of weeks where I have to just go a couple of days without doing it because I'll be away, and that'll be tough, but I'll need to do that. But it's also, like today I'm not exercising because I've actually hurt myself, and so I actually can't, and so I've just gone use it as an excuse. You go, no, fuck that, no. Here's a challenge where I'm just not going to do it, because I know how easy it is to do. And it's funny to me because it's like an hour, and it's only because I'm just slow and I just take my time. But it's an hour out of my whole day, but it becomes my whole day because I can't rest until I do it, and then once I've done it, I don't know what to do with myself. I'll just twiddle away time. And that is, you know, that's a really entrenched mentality, really entrenched way of being that I spent my life just existing in that sort of sense for a very, very long time. And it sucks, I hate it, and I don't want to be here. And you know, I start wrestling with the idea of maybe we should just stop it altogether, but then there's that idea of, well, you know, I need to navigate this sooner or later, and it is harder for me to do it and not do it perfectly than it is to not do it at all. Strange as that may sound. But hey, this is the state of Tony Nation. This is where we are, this is where we're sitting, and this is where we move forward. It's funny how that kind of comes at the end of the financial year. Anyway, so I wanted to touch base, I wanted to come back, I wanted to say hi, I wanted to thank you all for sticking around with the love and support, and I am so sorry that I did disappear for a while. I am still alive, I am still fighting, and yeah, that's really all I got. It's about 10 minutes now, and I don't want to keep you any longer. So I'll see you on Thursday for a little bit of softcore porn, a little bit of nudity, a little bit of dancing, and a whole bunch of talking. But until then, stay good, stay safe. I love you all. I'll see you soon. Bye.